That's too fast.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, minutes of September 14th work session. Everybody had a look at it, any corrections, changes?
Yeah, was that August?
No, September 14th.
Oh. What did you send us? I sent you August 17th and September
14th.
14th.
And
And I
September.
literally just put in September 23rd.
So wait, I thought I got August.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Yes, you got
so
two
you're going
sets.
ahead first, September?
Any corrections on September 14th is what you're asking, right?
Yes,
Edward Mayhem is spelled Mahem,
That it was there.
not Neha.
Okay, so backwards.
Yeah.
anything else? We'll make a motion to approve them as written with the change of the spelling of Mr. Mayhem.
All second the 14th.
All in favor?
Aye.
And August 17th we have, right?
Yes, correct.
Same thing there.
Any corrections? Okay, Mr. Mayhem again.
And also those were residential involvement in road safety. I think, let's see now. By wearing reflective clothing or bright colors, riding on the prior side of the road. I think it's supposed to be the proper side of the road.
Yeah, that would make more sense. What page is that on?
4.
Page 4, I think August, right?
Yeah, and the 7th line of residential involvement in road safety.
Got it,
And then Mayhem's name is in here too.
got it.
Make a motion to approve with those corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and September 21st we just got, so.
Yes.
South Hampton Town Police Department monthly report, we went through that already.
Yeah.
Unless you want to add anything, other lightning bolts. That's it, okay. Let's see, rotary paving and speed tables underway, I guess they're all going to be done very quickly.
Right, I put Jim's update in your book so you can all see what I got today, and by Friday, the speed bumps should be installed and the repaving, I believe, is gonna be finished today, or got finished yesterday.
No, still paving, but still.
Are they paving or are they just putting the lines in?
No, they're
Paving.
rolling,
Paving,
paving
okay,
and
all
rolling.
right, so they were looking to do it by tomorrow, by
What is
yesterday.
this in?
It's under your old business.
Discussions? Oh,
I think they
okay.
skipped Monday because they thought it was going to
Absolutely, we're
rain.
not here on Monday. Yeah, it's too rainy.
Yeah.
So,
That's great, they get it done in a hurry, which is nice.
right, and then the thing with the signs, the signs that, as you can see in Jim's explanation, the signs they're gonna install for Friday are construction bumps, so don't get alarmed, that's not the final.
Well, that's better than bumps.
So this is true. So the news or the correct signs, the permanent signs will be installed on Saturday because they are still being made.
Yeah, cool.
So-
Okay, so by the weekend, by Friday, there'll be the tables will be installed.
Can you also remind him about the lining? The
Like I
lines,
said, I
that the
Yes.
edges are what he says they're gonna be, kind of thing.
Let's see, take the book, the legal book, that's a nice thing, yeah.
So you'll see in your packet that there is a offer by the Girl Scout troop. This is actually Abby Dermody's daughter.
In new business?
She is,
It's right
no,
after
under
their
old
old
business.
It's right after the gym.
Yeah, with the
Well, isn't that
pictures.
nice?
Okay, so they, you know, that we had listened to Mr. Naham's proposal to do it. And I, mentioned it to Abby and she said, oh, my girls would love to do that. So I said, fine, give me something I can bring before the board. So there you are. They will pay for the whole thing. There is no cost to the village whatsoever.
Nice.
If you would like it installed, all you need to do is tell them what type you would like installed, and that's why they have provided you with a variety of different little boxes.
We should also discuss location, because the end of Gibson Lane, which is on my to-do list, is overgrown and kind of sanded by the town is being pushed up. We want it somewhere where it's not going to get knocked down or
Right.
The hedges from the old on the right, the Jaws guy.
Sure.
That property, their hedges are literally over into the road there and on, which is the village area. So all that has to be cleaned up. So we would want to put it up somewhere that it won't be disappear in the mess.
Shall we get JR to clean that, cut that hedge back, or
I
is it?
can, but I can probably get the highway department to.
They might do,
it,
okay,
they'll
yeah.
just-
And they also need
Wait,
to
they're gonna cut
trim.
the hedge
They would trim the hedge back. Oh, they would just cut a line,
with that
Where?
machine?
probably.
Let's
No,
get
they'll
JR
probably
to
do
do
it by
it.
hand. I don't think they can get that machine in there.
Oh, good.
So if they can't
I
get
don't
the
like that
machine in
machine.
there, then, because there is a, where we put the, I don't want to call it a bulkhead, it was a,
It was like-
railroad tie.
yeah, railroad ties.
Retaining wall.
That's our line.
Yeah, and that's all
So
buried
anything
now.
coming
The
over
junk,
that
yeah.
should be trimmed, because that's,
Yeah.
That has to reappear again, the railroad tie.
And
Area.
that's where? At the
on
end of
Gibson Lane,
On the
on the
right.
west side, the right side.
And you can't, it's not, you can't even see it anymore.
How many years
At
ago?
the
5
beach?
years
Mhm.
ago?
Oh, yeah.
I think
okay.
5
didn't know
years
you were talking
ago.
about at the beach. you're talking
Yeah,
about
I
West
could say it's
Side.
blown up.
Well, his property was on the
The
other
old-
side of
And
it.
then the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, the old Roy Shire.
Right,
House.
so IOB owns that property.
That's it, that's. The
So
other
used to be
side,
then,
on the east side of Gibson, heading to the beach, needs trimming
I
also.
think the whole thing. is-
Because you have a fire hydrant in there, you have a huge electrical switch off box, which takes down of all of Gibson Lane when the ocean comes up and over. I don't know why they put it at that end and not at a prior end.
Is that for the whole road, or is that just for
Yeah, I
that
go down
property?
and that goes down.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know
Why?
why.
Makes sense.
But and you have a fire hydrant in there, all in an overgrown area. It's a lot, that east and west side both need cleaning up.
I will ask highway / Parks and Rec, I'm not sure who would do it. Probably get more cooperation out of the highway department, or
Yeah,
we are,
see who can do
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the
Well, we
four
picking one?
So if you pick
Well,
one,
pick a box and
and
then make it,
then-
and then it's a matter of when you're ready to put it off.
right,
make a
then we'll
decision.
figure out where the, would be the best location to put it down there.
And one of my daughters had a, I was looking at my notes when both of my daughters were in the room, so SAG school is gonna come up a couple of times, but one of them suggested painting the box red, so it's like the little red school.
Oh,
box.
Oh,
that's a
how
good
cute.
thought, yeah.
I mean, the other thing would be, you don't like that?
No. But it's
Okay.
interesting.
Tell me which one.
it. I like the one with the snow on it.
We put fake snow on it?
Right, they would all say whatever you want them to say, I mean, the little.
I like the
library
one door with the one window.
That has the little free library on top,
Well, I think they all have a little free library.
right,
I like the
Little free
one door
library,
over
little
the
free
two.
library. But they can paint that red. I'm just kidding.
And
As
this
long
would
as
be a
it's not
nice
orange.
project for the kids to monitor it. So do you want to just say a one-door version?
Well, I can, if you want this one, this is the one that Carrie's looking
Well,
at.
is this one big enough? Is the
Well, that was
question.
the other thing I was gonna say.
Because
is
then
I'm
there's
sure they
another
can
one.
make it as big as you want. So,
Well, we don't want it to be too big.
Right.
I don't know, I feel like there's too many books in this one.
Yeah,
Too much of a choice, you have to stand there too long to decide. Right here, it's quick and easy. But
Is
it's,
that the second page?
yeah.
I don't know if that's.
The girls.
Oh,
are
that's the
making
one
it.
with the
If you
snow,
make
that's
it
the one that
simple.
Bill likes. Oh, no, Bill likes this
they
one.
can make anything. That's what I was told.
So one with
I'm
the
sure
snow
they'll
is
get
fine
it.
too.
Any of the ones on the first page are fine. How about we just let them pick one of
Yeah,
those?
let them
No,
think,
why
figure,
don't you tell me what you want, and then
Oh.
I'll let them, because I don't want anybody to say, well, it's not really what I had in mind.
Oh.
So tell me what you want. and
I'll go
bring
with the
it to them.
first one on the left on the first page.
This
Anyone
one?
else? Yeah.
It's really cute. I like that one.
which one?
The second page on the left.
That's red too, also.
Well, it's.
Or
not
maybe
red.
it's just.
It's just not orange.
Yeah.
These are printed out, so,
It's called cherry, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to, I've got the originals here, so that's the
Oh.
original. I just couldn't.
Take a book, turn a book is nice, the one that Bill likes with the snow on top. That has one window. It's got two shelves, so one above the other, which is fine. I can't tell how the roof is though, is
That's
the
the one
roof
that you like.
shingle?
It looks shingled because it's
Yeah.
bumpy.
Probably not the other.
Yeah, I think the two on the right of the second page are too big.
Yeah,
So-
those are two.
Yes, I agree.
Any of the other four are fine. So these are too big.
So you want a one shelfer.
Yeah.
The second page one on the left, does everyone like that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's nice.
Little free
Yeah.
library on top.
That's
They all say little free library.
I
I'm trying to
understand
tell you.
that. I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is this is how you want it, correct?
Oh,
And it says up here, little free
The sign
library.
is
That's a little
really
banner.
small.
What
The
do
sign
those
is
say?
kind of big.
Yeah, like that times.
The sign that
Take a book.
fits in it instead of across the whole.
So do you want it with this across the top like that?
No, the sign of the little free library sign would fit within the piece.
So you don't like that sign up there, you like
Right.
the style, but you don't want the
Yep.
sign.
well, we
So-
can also
The
put in
sign can just be a little smaller.
what Bill says, and on the frame of the opening the door, it
Okay.
says, take a book, return a book,
Sure.
Instead of putting,
instead of the little free
Any-
library.
right,
This is going to be a tough decision. I mean, really.
okay, so
Second page,
second page left.
and then use the words, take a book, return a book is what
And
this
then-
one says, take a book, return a book, and it would be, I don't
So
know.
it's basically this one, just put the door on this side instead of this side. The pitch of the roof is,
Oh, yeah, no, this has two levels.
oh, it does,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Oh, you know what, does this one have two
I have
levels?
no idea. I don't know where it's gonna go though. Doesn't look like it. So we want, they can
We
make
can lay them
anything you
down on
want.
this one.
They can make anything you want. That's what I was told. These are samples, so you can get some idea. So you want a one shelf and one door. Pitched.
Yeah, that's fine.
Pitched roof with the words, what does it say? What,
It says, take a book, return a book.
take a book.
So yeah, it's the dormer of the roof as opposed to this one, which is shed-like.
Yep.
Not the shed-like one, the one with.
On the door.
Okay. Do you give her this, these two as an example?
Yeah, I think the combination of those two, we want this door on this without this.
Yeah,
Did everybody get that?
No,
We want the door of the, I don't know what.
Take
page
a
you're on.
book, page one.
Page
Okay.
one with the snow on top. So we
Oh,
want
yeah.
that door that says take a book, leave a book.
right,
And we want that door put on the second page left,
okay,
little library, but we don't want the little free library sign on the top.
okay.
Well, especially down there, that, it's sticking out, from the edges. The wind will just complete that job for you.
And as far as the handles are concerned, there's the one, this one just got a little knobby, but maybe
I think
this type of handle might be a little bit better or no?
You might need a better one than the knob, because if it gets loose, it will just let it loose.
Yeah, they
So
have these little.
They do have a
eyes
latch.
here.
the hook and eye isn't a bad idea.
They have locked heads.
But I think that could get loose.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
Spin
it
around.
does, we have that on our.
All right, so I'll have
garage.
this hook, handle rather, and then have the little hook. Got it? Okay,
That'd be good.
That's awesome.
Okay, make a resolution to adopt local law number 6 of 2022 entitled local law amending sections 197-6, 197-8, 197-18 of the village code granting tax exemptions to senior citizens and disabled persons. That's the, we're going to align ourselves with the new state standard. And we'll just follow the state standard from now on. We don't have to adopt a new local law every time that the state ups the exemption amount.
right.
Do I have a second to that?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Tree committee?
Is it $10,000?
You met? And I saw a write-up on something.
yes. So, it was $10,000, and what did he say about the extra?
Right, so what you have in front of you is the proposal that was presented at all the trees and the maintenance and the removal for $10,000. Then, just as this was coming in, I got a call that there was a limb down on a branch or a limb down on a tree in front of
Historic home.
620, I think, which is the old Barneget's house. Well, she still lives there for his husband,
Oh, yeah, it's big.
his
one.
wife.
It's huge.
Anyway, so
Was
the
it?
branch came down, so I sent it to the tree committee, asked them to take a look at it, because not only did the branch come down, but the tree itself seems to be compromised. So the Brendan from Bartlett Tree did go look at the tree, as did the tree committee, and they believe that the tree needs to come down. It's
They
not
removed the
good.
branch
Yes, I
on
know,
my roof.
and so
That's gone now.
I had gone, because the branch was there, I'd asked the highway department to pick the branch up and then have the tree committee look at the rest of the tree. And well, a couple of emails back and forth between the highway department, because they were like, well, it's not on village property. I had to send them the survey of Sac Main Street, because Sac Main Street has a very wide verge.
Right.
So I had to show them that that tree was actually on village property. They actually did pick the branch up today. They, anyway, finally got it done, but
Must have been
the
later.
tree needs to come down. There is another couple of trees to the south that also need a good pruning for sure. So that proposal does not have that work in it.
Oh, the $10,000?
That's correct.
Right.
And so,
Just
I-
for the removal of the one tree.
No, this was a bunch of things.
this is different. This proposal was what the tree committee went
Oh,
through
okay.
the village with Brendan, and this is what they put together for a full pruning and whatever needs to be removed. I can't remember what's on it, to be honest with you, but it doesn't include these trees on Sac Main Street. So
It would be higher, is what you're saying.
what I said to Brendan, if the board agreed to a higher, not $10,000, but maybe $13,000 or $15,000, would that be enough to get this tree taken care of and the list that you already put together? We would certainly prioritize what needs to be done first, and if this tree is so compromised, it should be taken down, it should be on the top of the list before it falls on the.
What was his answer?
He said that would be something we could
To
work
which
with.
amount?
I didn't, he said,
13 or 15?
he said 13.
Well, let's do
But I suggested,
Oh.
a high number. The higher you go, of course, they'll back into that number, just as they back into the 10,000. So it's up to you. It's up to you if you just want to stick to that 10. If you stick to that 10, then something else has to come out.
Tell them to get
and
it all
that
done
tree-
for 13.
So if you want, then you do the 13, not to exceed 13.
Not to exceed.
And then
13
start with
without-
the tree, and that's what he said to me, I'll start with the tree and we'll work our way down the list, and what we can get done for that, we'll do.
Right.
And the rest of it can go to,
That sounds fine.
the
Do we have to
spring.
have a resolution
yes,
for
you
that?
do. It's
Oh, we do.
everybody. Yep.
Okay, I make a resolution that we cap the tree work to $13,000.
Okay.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Can I just say one more quick tree thing?
sure.
Next month, I should have hopefully some suggestions for the Christmas tree. It's not totally clear, but I hopefully will get a clear answer for our November meeting, whether or not the Fosters were going to abandon this year putting the lights on, in which case the tree is clearly on our property.
100%. 100%.
So the tree does need replacing. We would need an estimate from the tree committee as to the proper time of year to do it and how much that would cost.
What's wrong with it?
It's got some illness, I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
It's dying from the bottom up.
Oh,
So
Colorado spruce are not a recommended tree. for the
we have the wrong
cemetery.
tree.
Yeah,
For the-
So we need the tree committee to recommend what we would put in there. We still can light for this year what's there,
Right.
but the correct tree has to be put in, and we need an estimate, and you would not put it in as tall as the current tree. You would have to, it would grow. So if they could do that, because
well, just a thought. Hey, Bill, your son has grown all kinds of trees around you. You think he would know what would look good?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Maybe
he'll-
grow a little bit
He can
slower
tell you
too.
what's the best one to put in there for
Yeah.
the environment.
And it's possible that, let's see, Nikki Wilson, Osborne, and Nathan Osborne are growing stuff right around the area. I don't know if they have anything that works like that. At one time, they were growing something which would.
Yeah, there is, I asked Matt once before, and he
Yeah.
told me, name of a couple of different ones that we should put in.
Yeah, because in terms
And I'll
of,
ask him
That
again.
would be great.
Yeah,
That would be great, and-
Environment.
yeah.
you know, if there's
Something
something that's
natural.
growing around the area. not
That we know
growing
would
from
live.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
it would be
I
good.
have a suggestion.
Yeah,
Perhaps one of our village residents could donate a Christmas tree
There
from
we
the
go.
Christmas tree farm.
oh, well, that could- he's got Colorado spruce, I think, most of it, isn't it?
yeah, we don't want.
The ones he's got in there are worth.
Yeah, and he just planted stuff, which is,
Well, he didn't know what he was doing.
yeah,
I
exactly.
asked Matt once before if Whitmore would be interested in buying those trees. And he said, no, trees are junk. Nobody would.
So we don't have to
nobody
worry
would-
about that.
Yeah.
And the lighting.
You can have a good bonfire
That's a
with
good
it.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighting, I don't think we'd have any trouble getting donations for strings of lights, like someone can commit to an X amount. What would have to pay for is what's his name, the tree guy,
Jackson
Jackson
Dobbs.
Dobbs, to come in and do it, because he needs one of those whatevers to get it relit. Now, sometimes, some years are easy apparently, where the current lights on the tree, they plug it in, right? And then they find out they only need to put 2 new strands on and it's done in no time. But until that happens, we wouldn't know if they need 2, 3, 4. So what we could do, if people chose to donate lights, I could see if Roger can get them wholesale, and then, we can keep extra strands here, so when they go out to do it, if they need 4 one year and 2 the next, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure there are multiple people who would say, oh, I'll donate a strand of lights. I don't think that should be a problem.
Okay, do you have a mechanism of asking these people, or do you want me to send an email?
I think blast email was what I was thinking.
Okay, so you want me to send an email out to the list of emails that I have for the,
But we need to get a
Village.
price on
Yes.
what a strand costs.
yeah.
I will try to find that out.
Then if they'd like to donate to the lighting of the Christmas tree. I'll
A
leave it-
strand of lights.
I will leave it broad,
Oh, yeah, that's true. We might make more money on this than
but broad in that, because this is October, so usually by the time people get back to me, that's gonna be November. I'll have an answer on
Right, good.
what, and
Make it
you
broad.
can tell me how much it would cost.
Also, the other issue is he ranges about $600 in labor for his equipment and such. And I imagine it has something to do with how much time he spends on it. So I think
It costs about $600
approximately.
for him
To
to.
put the
light
lights
tree.
on?
Sure, it's got a bucket truck,
They have to bring a bucket truck, a rental bucket truck.
or it's his, but he charges for that piece of equipment, which is probably about $5.
Originally, the toppings and the Fosters would split the economics of it. And some of the lights would come from our store where they'd wander in and ask for new strands and Roger would give them, donate them. But last year, we did not have it lit up. So I think we've determined it's on our property and I don't think they would mind the help because from what I gathered, when everyone asked why it wasn't lit, Marilee said they just couldn't get to it and do it financially that year or at that point or whatever, it was too late.
So has anybody talked to Jackson Dodds?
That's what I was just gonna say, wasn't he gonna donate his services to, put your lights on?
But in previous years, he charged them, so
Oh,
I
he did?
think that is, so as to whether he chooses to donate it, I can give him a call. if
I
you
think
want.
Lee Foster's the one that said he might donate.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
her word was might.
Mike, okay.
So do you want me to call Jackson? That's easy enough.
Yeah, we could call it.
So we are now in charge of this tree.
It
So the
appears.
Fosters are out and the toppings are out. And so if the village wants this tree to be lit this year, it's up to us, because nobody else is gonna do it. It's like.
But I can recall Lee and I can recall Kristen or Jagger,
Just to make sure. that-
just to make sure, but last year they said they couldn't do this anymore. And Lee came, remember?
Yeah, I do remember all
Lee
that.
actually
So who
said
said they can't do it?
Lee,
Lee
Came to
said
our
we can't
meeting.
do it.
that they're not able to,
Who's they?
the Fosters and the
Oh,
toppings.
she said and the toppings?
Well, she didn't say and the toppings, she
That's what
just
I'm
came
asking.
to our meeting and said, we're not gonna be able to commit to do this
Yeah,
anymore.
meaning the Fosters.
Yeah,
Well,
I
who
think
knows?
She didn't speak
We're not
for the
sure
toppings.
who
She
Lee
did not
is.
speak for the toppings.
Right.
So we need to find that out or just go with it.
And then the other piece of that is the electric, which I believe is.
Plugs into
just
Gretchen.
plugs in. But I thought that they ran something.
I think Dean kind of jury rigged it up. I think.
Yeah. You're right.
Because I think they used to run a cord across the street, literally.
Well, they used to,
Yeah.
and then I think Dean or somebody tied it into the pole, and they didn't have that cord going to.
I think, but I think it's like what they do in like most of the main streets, they just drop a line, if it doesn't come from the building, they drop a line from the pole.
Yeah,
And it's a, whatever you call it.
Bridgehampton Main
Something like that.
Street, the Bridgehampton Improvement Society had them come in and they had to get permission from each building's owner. They literally put a socket for them to plug into
Right.
off of the roof of all these buildings, so there were no more cords down low.
Right.
Oh, that's good.
That's smart.
And,
Solar
Anywho.
lights,
Okay, so,
solar lights.
all right, so next, you're gonna send the email, generally speaking. I'm going to talk to Lee tomorrow and I'll have Roger hunt down Christian because he hangs out. He
the
comes in
only
the
thing I'm
store.
gonna have to figure out is, where is this money gonna go? People say, oh, yes, absolutely. I'm
Oh,
gonna give you $100,
That's a
I'm
good
gonna give you
point.
$400. Now I've got $500, I have to figure out what to do. And I can't just put it into general fund, so I'm gonna have to figure out.
can it go in the tree
That's-
committee because we're fixing a tree?
I don't know.
I'll have to find that out.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Me?
Yes.
Mr. Tokyo would like to speak to me, so I'm going to just jump in for 1 second.
Okay,
Okay,
we will hold. So anyway, I looked at that part. I
Yep.
think if we ask for some donations, I don't think there's any money issues. The tree committee used to have, I haven't looked in the financials recently, 30,000. So I think we're good to
Right.
get rid of the disease tree. And
if we replace the tree, let's do something that's fairly small.
yeah, it's gotta grow.
Yeah, right.
Well, the tree committee usually figures that out.
Right, exactly. But we're good on that. Because of notes, we have to freeze, right?
No. Let's see.
Oh,
Trust-
because she can take it off the recording.
Yeah, trustee priorities for the 22-23 fiscal year. Who wants to start off?
I'll start off.
Okay.
Number one, I was hoping Brian would be here, and maybe you know, or maybe one of us knows. The flag on Goldman's property was torn right in half,
Oh, okay.
and it's still flying, and I think that's, I think it's gotta be replaced. Whether he wants to replace it or at least take it down. But I don't know whether we have any right to go on there and take it down.
Probably not.
But it's ripped right in half, the whole
Yeah.
thing. And I'd like to see somebody contact him and see if he wants, if he can.
That
repair
would be Rhodey.
it. It's very,
Okay.
it's not very patriotic the way. it's
No, it
done.
isn't.
He probably doesn't even know it.
He probably does.
No.
And
We haven't
maybe,
seen Heidner
and
Harrigan in a
maybe he
while.
would be willing to send some, he's still, there's still guys mowing the lawn and stuff there, so there must be, he must be aware of
Does he
what's.
live around here at all?
I don't know.
Boca Raton or something?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
He gets on the plane in Fort Lauderdale somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I usually sits with you, doesn't he?
Yes, he sits with me and doesn't even know who I am.
That's good.
And then comes the same day to the meeting after I've been on the 7
You
AM
can-
plane.
You can inform question somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know what the angle you're coming from.
Especially when they don't know. The only other thing I have that's on my mind is along the edge of mostly Daniel's Lane, because I drive it. But where trucks from construction and stuff, where trucks have made those wide swings,
Yeah,
there's nothing but mud along there.
Yes.
And I'd like to see us get, I don't know who to get. I guess maybe the highway guys, I mean, the LKM or something. There's some of it's gonna need topsoil, it's gonna need seeding, and basically need the landscape guys to keep off of it.
I
yeah.
think when we do the reseeding, even those tiny little surveying flags, if it does deter people from parking.
Yeah,
I know maybe we're not allowed to put the post, but the little flags while the grass is growing, they do work.
down from you, what's his name? Davis building that big house.
Oh, yeah.
That certainly worked. He
Kept
flagged.
everybody off, yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice and heavy now. So maybe
We
can-
just have to make sure when they do the dirt and seeding, because on Maryland, on Bridge Lane, they put the dirt in
In the
the,
road.
in the road, in the,
Yeah.
and seeded in the section of the passenger, right, the little walkway.
Yeah.
So they need to,
But that's
all
all,
the lines be.
I'll come up with some more. I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right.
Marilyn, you-
So the only thing that I thought of to speak about also, my other daughter Alex raised it. She works with Sally Peterson Scholarship Fund, and the Sagaponic School's having a really tough time getting kids to go. There's not enough children in Sagaponic Village. And somebody she was talking with at the school, I'm sorry for bringing this up, but was talking about finding a way, redistricting or finding a way to include Sagaponic North so that they can go to the Sagaponic school.
You have a horrible problem with that. from my education background, no school district is going to be willing to give up their tax dollars for Sagaponic North. And that's quite a bit of property.
It is.
How many kids are there?
So right now there's 5 kids, and if they had included Sagaponic North, they would have had 12 kids, which is doable. It's having 12 kids in the school is great. Having 5 is.
Where does
not
Sagaponic
sustainable.
North go to?
To Narrow Lane, to Narrow Lane.
To now?
No, we go to
It's
the
on the
railroad
railroad
track.
track. It's on the north.
It's
side
on
of
the
railroad.
north side of the railroad.
That's what I mean.
I
The
thought
village
we used
goes
to go
to
to
the
Merchants
railroad
Path
tracks.
and
And then after
Spouses.
that's north. And I don't know how.
Sag Harbor would not be willing to, you need 2 districts willing to realign. And in the last 50 years in New York State, no district has been willing to give up their tax dollars to another.
So when my mother
Wasn't
used
that
to.
northern portion already redistrict to Sag Harbor from Bridgehampton?
Well, when my mother
Back
used
in
to
the day, but
take
not
the
recently.
census and I used to go with her, we would go to Kenny Helstowski's
Right.
north of the tracks.
Yep,
And down on that parallel
Ames
road.
Path or
Whose
Topham's Path.
No, you go make a right down at Kenny's and then you keep going and then
Merchants Path.
But that's not the school district.
Yeah,
After
because the
21 years
census
on
is-
the SAG school board, that's
well,
not. the
50
school-
years ago it was.
But
It was.
it was given to Sag Harbor a long time
So
ago.
that's what I'm gonna ask. The question is, how did Sag Harbor end up getting what we had?
And we want it back.
I think with the size houses in there and the tax dollars that Sag Harbor would lose, why in heaven's name would they give up possibly $1 million worth of
But
school
why did
tax?
we give it up?
Oh, I don't know how that happened.
It really doesn't have
I think it
anything
was
to do with
too many
anybody
kids or
but the
something.
school.
And
That's
is
what I
there
heard.
a way to still invite those kids to come to Sag?
They have to pay tuition in New York
Well,
State. You can't
okay,
give free
this has nothing to do
education.
with the village. The village
Okay.
has no power whatsoever. in
Okay.
this. I mean, so, I mean, if you want to
Well,
talk about it, just go to the
Right.
school meetings. Because we're
End of
just,
story.
there's no, yeah,
Okay.
we got
And
nothing to
it's
do with it. really.
25 kids. I thought they had a ton of kids.
They get rid of
This
one
year.
of the 10 teachers, they might be able to afford 5 kids.
They can afford 5 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
5
about,
kids is
it's,
fine.
right, it's
Fine.
not about finance.
A lot of
It's about
kids,
school. It's
people
got a
send
good
them to
budget.
law school or somewhere
All right,
else.
but guys, last year in 3rd grade alone, you had 7 kids. The year before, you had 9 kids in 3rd grade. It
Yeah.
comes and goes.
Yeah.
It ebbs and
Flows.
flows. Thank you.
You have Anything else?
No, I don't.
Want to jump over to Carrie?
I have nothing.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
will come up with things
Oh.
as time goes on, I am
Okay.
sure. And depends on what other people say as
Oh,
well.
okay. Lisa,
I have a list.
you have a list? Go
That's
for it.
Okay. The first one on my list is, I just want us to not forget, I know there's no preservation issues right now available or being discussed for the Community Preservation Fund, but the 4 areas we have Rich looking at, we should just keep in mind that that's an important priority to look to the future to preserve land for farming and
Yeah,
other things.
okay.
So
that's
just
good.
the preservation issues?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
but right now we have nothing
Yeah.
on our table, but we should keep our ears peeled.
Mhm.
My second item was possibly police scheduling, ticketing, and road calming via maybe rearranging the type of police we have. And I'm referring to maybe the full-timers can ticket more than the part-timers. I'm a little confused as to the rules on all that, but that's just a suggestion for next summer. And maybe that the police schedule could reflect the bad days. Like, we seem to be better on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but Friday and Monday and weekends seem to be hot, busy traffic-wise. And then my third item is Town Line Road. I don't want to forget what we discussed for several years, beach access for our residents. I know we're working on widening the end and clearing currently. And we have discussed getting a price from Jim for a safe walkway once we get that clear alley, for lack of a better term. But I still think with East Hampton, we should approach the conversations and work to potentially have a place that, if the beach is owned by each, half by us and half by them, but we're not allowed to use it, I have trouble with that issue.
We are allowed to use it.
Only if
It's
we
just we
walk.
can't park.
We can't park, but so I think, but we used to be able to park, but Mr.
Yeah, so
McGinty
keep
took.
up the rapport with the new East
Well, we
Hampton.
have to just not forget that. We started it, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't finished. it.
Yeah, good idea.
And the last issue was, I brought up before, was Gibson Beach cleanup issues with the railroad ties not showing anymore and the bushes all over the place. And also to Gibson Beach cleanup issues, we got like a signage issue going on down there that is like,
Oh, I do have something I'll talk about.
there's, first of all, it shouldn't have, it needs a Sag Village sign. It's our beach. And the next sign below it can say, and the rules of Southampton, but we have all these signs that are contradicting each other, like the dog sign is from us, the other sign's from them. Somebody has to stand down there and look at the visual clutter of all those signs. And they all can be in one general area. They're all hither and yon and all over the place. I think
We did have the town clean that up by taking off their rules that conflicted with ours. So
right,
we did have that done, but all they did was take them off.
right, and there's this horrible
If you
hole
want,
that's not painted.
so if
Yeah.
you want to put something down there other than what's there, I think we have to do it because I don't think Parks and Rec.
No, I don't know. I'm not saying they have to do it.
So-
I'm just saying that this is the clear only beach that we have clear ownership of. And we're very poorly represented in signage, and there is some confusion between the dogs and all the other stuff that's
Right.
going on. Also, somebody walked down there out of the blue and put in a sign, and I'm not saying that marine life isn't important, but again, they put up a sign. We never approved that sign
There's a sign that's just,
with marine life animals and what you're supposed to do.
Oh, for the seals?
Yeah, but people are just putting signs on.
Well, did the village do that?
No,
I mean, did the town do that? I mean,
well, I don't know that answer.
yes, so that's what we need to find out.
So I'm done.
I do have something that I can speak to.
Okay,
Daniels Lane has too many do not park signs on both sides of the road. My suggestion would be, instead of having two on each side of the road every 50 feet, is have them stagger each.
Right.
Each themselves.
And that goes for Sag Main and Bridge Lane, all over the place. They need to be staggered. This military lineup is.
you do realize
And
that there
I'm
is.
not sure whether it's legal for,
That's the, thank
I
you.
mean, sometimes if they're not posted correctly, they really can't be enforced. So we could look into that to see if that would
So
be,
that means you have to go to the town.
well,
We go to the town anyway, they're the ones who put our signs in.
yeah, we would have to ask the police department, because a couple of years ago, we had some signs that weren't posted correctly, and one of the officers brought it to your attention, I think, Romy, right? And said it's got to be corrected, otherwise we can't write tickets.
That's correct.
Um,
And I know every time I send, like, I'm trying to get the signs off of Sag Road, the horse, we're leaving the horse sign, but the bike sign and the share the road sign. And when I sent it over to the highway department to ask them to remove those signs, she sent an email back to me asking whether or not they were approved by resolution. So they just don't plop in signs and take them out unless they are not
So we need
needed
to
or that
get a
they're
town
legal.
resolution.
No, we don't need a
Our
town
resolution.
resolution. What
Oh,
Bill is
village
saying,
resolution?
no. What Bill is saying is that there is a state law that says
A state resolution.
that a sign has to be placed, a
every, I
regulation
don't know,
sign
it's every
has to be
100
installed
feet or,
in certain areas in order for the police to write a ticket that's gonna stick in the courts.
Yeah, I get that.
So we can't just go down there and say, we don't like the way the signs are, we'd like to have it every other, alter them on the other sides of the road so much apart, because if it doesn't conform to the rules of the state, the police are not gonna be able to write a ticket on
And
it.
Brian may be able to.
So the
address-
question would
speak to that.
be, if they have to be X amount of feet apart, maybe we start them 50 feet further or less on the opposite side so that they do end up being staggered. But my point is that
I
there's
know
too
what you
many,
mean.
there's too
It's
many.
visually annoying.
Everybody,
I think the
has
town
that same
probably
thing. When I was in
would put
Sag
in the
Harbor,
least number of
same thing.
signs that they could. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they want to pay for signs.
Well,
So-
let's look into
But
that.
yeah, find out. But I think,
Also, they also, well, we can address this in the spring when they put the signs back after they take them out, but they have to watch where they put them because they block people's driveways. This year was epic with the driveway block. I
Yeah,
mean,
but the
that's,
signs are only this big.
but, I know, but if you're coming out in an SUV or a higher pickup truck,
Yeah.
you turn looking right for traffic and
Here's the sign.
you'll see the sign.
Okay.
So they have to be more whatever. Nobody wants them at the end of their driveway.
While we're on
I will
signage, because
try.
I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up. What happened to our stop signs on Town Line Road from the East Hampton side?
Oh, they listen to me.
those
meaning, did
still
they put
outside.
them in yet? Is that what
They're
your
not in
question
yet.
is, Bill? Meaning is, did they put them
Carrie
in
took
yet?
it.
Yeah, has it passed? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I've got
okay.
a resolution, so
So
the
they
board
just-
passed it, so it's a matter of the highway department.
okay.
installing them.
yeah, I
Now,
just-
did ours get installed?
Yeah, ours is,
Ours are in, okay,
Oh, they are,
Right.
okay.
because I did send that off last
They
week.
just maybe have more bureaucratic lists to
Well,
get to.
Which
Ours
one's
are in
got
on
installed?
Parsonage and Hedges. Parsonage Lane?
oh, no,
Just
not on,
just down
I mean,
by,
on Town Line
Hedges.
Road.
Town line.
Town line and
I mean,
hedges.
Town Line and Lake Sag Main.
Did the yield sign get installed?
No,
At the triangle?
one did, I think.
I haven't seen it.
Because I sent that
It
all.
could be there and I'm not.
No, I think there's
concentrating.
one there, but maybe that always was there.
No, that was the one that you said to the board approved, you abstained.
No, this one was, I'm talking about Fairfield
And
and,
I'm talking about Hedges and
Oh,
Sagamore. That was
I'm
the
not
only
talking
one
about
that I sent to them because that needed to be installed. But what I can do is I can ask the highway department or the police department, I'm not sure whoever get a faster response. If there is a certain distance that no parking and speed limit signs can be placed on the road or have to be placed on the road. And I know their answer is yes, I just don't know what it is. And can we make sure that the least amount of signs are
Right.
installed to be effective or to
but
be legal?
we also have to say, I think to them, is there a different configuration that would make it less as opposed to what's already there?
Mhm.
So that they have to think a little and say, okay, well, maybe we can stagger them. And they would be less. I don't know.
Right.
Because they're
I
just
can
gonna
only
want to
ask.
put them right back up where the sign is in the ground.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they're gonna do.
Well, they take the posts
They'll
out.
take the post out, the posts.
They
are
take
put
the
in
posts
because
out.
it's-
Oh, they
do?
Yeah, the posts
Yeah.
and the signs used to
Oh,
go out
really?
by the
Yeah.
17th of
But you
September.
have to realize that this is a different superintendent. And I don't know what Charlie's gonna do. That was the previous one. Like I said, I never asked them to take them out and put them back in. They just did that.
But we wanted them always
But
to.
I never said to them, the village
They just
board
magically
wants
have
them out.
Yeah.
So
They
what,
So we
always
should,
did it that way.
you can contact them and ask them to have the guys remove them.
and also when we contact them, I think we should ask them, what are their dates for removal and, re-putting up.
And what if he says to me, we have decided because of the cost of labor not to remove them? They'll stay
No,
in.
because past
Well, I'm
history,
just telling
they
you,
gave
I'll
us
bring
that
this up.
service. They cannot take
Why
the
don't we-
service away
why don't
from
we-
us.
I'm sure they
When we
can.
get to that bridge, let's just
I
decide
will,
on
I
it.
will ask.
Yeah, just, let's find out
Yeah,
what's
I
going
haven't
on.
asked
Yeah.
this
first.
yet, so this is new.
Charlie,
I've already-
this is pretty, thoughtful.
No, he's also the one that won't take bag leaves. He eliminated that for,
Well,
For
what?
just us?
no, for anybody over what, 72? I think he used the use fee up to put them loose.
Oh, yeah,
So he's worried about the budget. And
right.
so he's budget
Yeah, because
conscious.
he doesn't
So,
make the
anyway,
budget, the
I'll ask.
town gives him the
I'll
budget,
ask.
even
I
though
can
he's
only ask.
elected and he can do what he wants with the money. His money is throttled by the
Well,
town.
we can also do what we want with our $1 million to
Sure.
him.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
something to-
Let's move on. This is,
So I will ask them about the location of the signs. I will also ask him about when the seasonal signs, seasonal no parking signs will be removed. That's what you want, and when they go up again.
right,
Just so we can, I guess it doesn't really
okay.
matter. Figure it out.
So let me tell you what my priorities are. The first one is continuity in the village office. If you think of the depth of knowledge, I mean, I've been around when this thing started, and since I became there, I've had all of Rhodey's emails sent to me. And that doesn't include walk-ins, and that doesn't include phone calls that she gets. And then through them, you get a little idea of what other people in the office are doing. There's a tremendous amount of knowledge that our staff has, which I would like to delay replacing as much as possible. And when we do have to replace somebody, I like to be in a position where people will want the job. And taking a look at things have happened in the labor market in the last 2 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the signs that say help wanted, help wanted. And I know places that I've done business with which are closed for part of the week because they can't keep staff on.
Yeah.
And I've also seen, got a view of what people are paying now to get competent staff and even what they're paying to have incompetent people. My view is that the village staff is underpaid and we will have difficulty. Rhoda gave me a printout of all the villages. I think the whole state actually, but I looked at Suffolk and Nassau counties, what various positions are getting paid. And we have a lot of these villages are a big community where there's a lot of labor pool available nearby. They're not in our situation where close to 80% of the houses are empty. So there's a very tiny labor pool that lives here. In the future, and right now, I mean, one of our employees drives a fair distance to get here. If we have to hire, especially someone who has to drive here through the traffic we have, we're going to have a lot of candy there to draw them. You know, somebody will work in their own community, get paid fairly decently instead of driving through all that every day. Anyway, what I'm getting at is sometime a little bit later in the year, I'll come up with some proposal as to improve our salary situation. The second thing, I think it's much better right now, but for a good chunk of the year, the part of the year when our houses here are actually used, we're overrun by pass-through traffic. And I find that very disturbing. And I know we've had a few letters and a few people who speak up and say, you know, I'm terrified to let my kids go out, or my wife doesn't want to walk the dog, or this kind of stuff, because, you know, like the guy going 80 miles an hour because he was late going to Montauk. All the traffic which would have gone on a major highway and now no longer will fit on Montauk Highway is seeping out like blood around a clot in the leg.
Well, that's nothing new. That's been for a very
Well,
long time.
It's crept up on us. You know, the old adage about, you know, you put a frog in a frying pan and you turn the heat up slowly and you cook them. I think the heat's slowly been turned up, and I think we really have to work at that. And I'm hoping that the speed tables, which will get put in fairly soon, I know we've had a couple of requests from people who would like to see them in their neighborhood, implement more things to just slow the people down and make it miserable for the guy going to Montauk who could no longer go speed, make it so they stay on the highway or take a boat, I don't know, take a helicopter, whatever it is, but I don't think we have to be put on in that fashion. Anyway, we'll see, but those are the two things I think priorities for me.
Well, that goes a little with my police schedule issue that we have times, I bet in January, we might even have some leeway to give up some time and maybe then on certain days in the summer, have 2 cops in the area. And with the other thing we can do is have like a training session with the pool that we are given of police officers to explain, these are the roads we're having trouble on. Many times they're sitting out on Montauk Highway and first of all, I don't even get that because it doesn't move.
Wait, where do they sit on Montauk Highway?
By Bill McCoy's old office there in that parking area, and they watch everybody go by down the highway.
I was told that they have to enter all their tickets into a computer.
Mhm.
And that there are only certain places that get different, decent, a hookup to do that.
Well, I know why that is, because
And
we
so-
didn't get the tower.
Yeah.
We
well,
nixed the
it's,
tower, unfortunately.
Marconi Tower, let's get that back.
Yeah, you propose it.
We totally nixed the tower, and there are many, the ambulance people are upset about that, you know, that there are
Yeah.
moments, there are roads and areas. I can only get cell phone reception in the front of my
I know
house.
that every community wants more policing in the summer,
Yeah,
and the
well,
town.
maybe there's a way to do it, trade it or something.
You work at it.
Well, I'm not in charge of police, but.
Well, I think for next to nothing, we can put physical obstructions out there. And if you don't want to drive 30 miles an hour, then go somewhere else.
I don't think it's gonna work. I think they're gonna come anyway.
Well, I mean, but they'll drive slow.
Mhm.
And then it's the alternative. Well, am I going to go through this and this and this? Or am I going to just stay on the highway?
You know,
and-
I just drove on Montauk Highway by the Bridgehampton High School, and they have like a rumble road or something before you come to
They
The
had a
noise
they had a
crosswalk.
lawsuit when that was put in.
What's
They
that?
had They had lawsuits.
To put it in?
Well, after it was put in, that was done when Walker's daughter was
Daughter.
killed.
Yeah,
Yeah. And not too long.
Well, it's still in.
afterwards.
I guess they won the lawsuit
I guess so, but they make a lot of noise.
for,
The people in the houses.
Yeah, whoever's next to it. Yeah,
okay.
so I mean,
Well, I thought
that's
that
fine.
seemed less obstructive as far as visually than a whole complete speed table or something, but if it's noisy, then that's not a problem.
Yeah. I don't care what the visuals are. I want to get the people slowed down.
we
Get
got the, we
places-
Well, I
got
care
the
about
tables
both.
going in.
I think both is
We have
important.
the tables going in,
We
so
got a
have
sample. Yep, we can,
we're gonna have a good sense of whether they really have helped or what, you know.
yeah, the 10 people on Crestview who want them there, they, you know, as soon as they're in, I'll give them a call and tell them to go right over and see what you think.
See if it's still warm.
And they have
I
a sense,
just
yeah.
Can't even understand why people go fast on Crestview. It's a dead end. I don't get it.
Well,
Well-
they speed to the end and then they screech around that circle at the end and speed back down, whip the corner onto Gibson, and then head up Daniels the next
They
corner.
made the wrong
There's a
turn, they looked at
joyriding
the beach
people?
Yeah,
access,
it's a Friday night issue. Plus, we have one resident. I won't say it on tape, but you can ask me later. He and his wife have matching cars and they only drive at 60 miles an hour down Crestview and Gibson Lane. It's like when you see the black color coming of that kind of car, you go, oh, here they come. They only drive that fast. So I think the police and the bumps can work together. I think the
Yeah.
police need a training session. The educator in me that you sit down and say, these are the roads.
Well, I've been doing this report for a little while, and I feel like there's not that many stops that have been, or they've become less on Montauk Highway. Then, and I feel like they're interspersing themselves pretty well in Saginaw.
Yeah, I think, and plus, you meet with them periodically.
Well, once
I
see them.
And, yeah, and
All the time.
we can, I think we can stress again our priorities on, when they first took over, the board's, mine and the board's priority was SAG school, make sure they're being seen there. That was when we had the stop signs there, and I mean,
And they were
first
here.
put there, and it was great. Anytime, pretty much any time of the day or evening, if you went by, you could see
Yeah.
there would be a cop hanging out there. And I think we should re-stress that.
Yeah.
A priority for that. The other thing is the school, I mean, the speed limit past the SAG store. I mean, that's a 15-mile
Our
speed limit.
sign got hit today too.
I know, I saw that. I was
How
gonna,
does the zip ties work? It's still intact?
no,
No.
the one side is.
One side of the sign is hanging out in the road.
I didn't have any zip ties. I was gonna try to fix it myself.
They should have worked perfectly. The sign should be cut in half, not the zip ties.
I know, so I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it happened since I got my mail at 8.
I was gonna say, because Abby went out about 1 o'clock, she went down to the mail, so. it must
Yeah.
have
So on my route
Yeah.
here tonight, I
Me
noticed.
too, yeah.
So I think we can, we can reemphasize to the officers, because don't forget, they change, they come and go, these officers, so
Yeah.
they may not know our
Well,
priorities.
see, that's important. You
Mhm.
hit the point right on the nail. If they come and go, then maybe once or, I don't know how often the academy gives us new ones, but maybe once or twice a year, there has to be a little meeting.
Well, to have a meeting of all the officers that are here is near impossible.
Yeah,
So.
I
what
think a
do-
flyer would work.
Well, what I do is I send an email to the Captain Schottenhamel, and I will CC it to the chief. I will now CC it to the captain.
now who's the new,
Captain Kiernan is the acting.
okay, okay, right. I thought he would be.
And has been
I
since
haven't seen anything in
Chief
the
was
paper.
sick. And just reiterate what the priorities are of the village.
Yeah,
When the officers come in to introduce themselves to me, I tell them that this is a residential, we're concerned about speeding traffic, make sure you get to know all the roads. So I go, and go down by the school, so verbally I fill them in on it, but I will certainly send out another
yeah, I think
email
I think that'll help.
to the sergeant and let him know. I will, and a lot of times what he will do is he'll send my email on to each of the officers.
Okay,
So
there
they
you
get
go.
it on their phone, so
So I
I'll
have
just
a
do that
question.
again. And Bill's right, we do get in, each year we get in new staff,
Yeah, and
so, yeah.
So
I think with the proof in the pudding on the stop signs is Bridge Lane. I think they've slowed traffic down
So much.
considerably.
It's been amazing.
I think it's a new place. I mean, when I walked in and with my bike, it's shocking to me how.
Well, the year has changed, summer's over.
Well, but
Well,
even
not
at the end
even
of
when they
summer,
put them up, they
It was
were,
at the end of summer when they had the.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you have to take that into consideration.
I mean, yeah, but there's still quite a few cars on Bridge Lanes and and people off season also go very fast and it's made a huge.
and that's one of those routes
difference.
they were like you
Yeah.
mentioned. were
So here's a
taken.
question, we have that, whatever it is at the store, what do you call that sign? Just a crosswalk sign?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Do we have them at the school?
No,
No.
why not? Because you didn't tell me to buy them and put them there. It's our choice. Highway department does not do it.
Well, I
We do
think
it.
we should have them
Well, I
on,
think the stop sign and the speed
The
bumps
cross-
are gonna-
Walk though is by Elizabeth Martin's side there
yeah, on Main Street.
on Main Street for the children to get in,
yeah,
not by that stop sign. I don't think they paint that one anymore. I think they moved it to the Main
well,
Street. side.
they'll paint it if we ask.
Yeah. But I mean,
There's
There should
not
have,
one.
there should be
painted
one
on
from the
Saginaw
sidewalk
Street?
to the school.
no, it's on Sag Main, but it's not on Sag Road.
There should be one from the
Sidewalk.
sidewalk to the
Right.
school.
On Sag-
Well, it was in a different place.
It was further back, but
it
it
was
should be
further
closer.
back.
Yeah.
But we should buy 2 more of those. They're gonna get hit occasionally anyway, but we should probably put them up by the school
We
too.
read here.
Well, it could be a student project, resetting the signs in the middle of the
Yeah,
road.
in the middle of the road.
Put the little ties on them.
Painted the parking area across from the store. Did that was that LKM or was,
We, the Suffolk County Water Authority did that.
oh, they painted the,
Painted it.
Yes,
Oh, good.
they're the ones
It
that
looks
repave.
good.
They had an excavation permit, and so what our village engineer does is when some kind of water authority rips the road up, he makes them repave the whole thing.
So I have
Okay.
a question about that also. I feel that cars should park on the diagonal on the east side of Main Street at the store.
Sure.
I agree.
And the way whatever it is that they just painted, what are we talking, what?
Paved.
No, but painted, the
Right.
thing that was painted, what do you call that?
The end of the
Crosshatch?
cross, yeah, at the end. of
That
the
should
crosswalk.
also be diagonal to give the people the idea to park
Yeah,
diagonal
put
or
black
put a
lines in.
sign up. No, put a sign up saying park diagonally, please.
But there are
What
no,
language?
there are no lines there.
Yeah.
There are no lines painted there.
Oh, I know.
So if
I don't
you
want
paint it-
lines.
Well, if you paint, you want paint on the road or you want
No, I'm
signs?
talking about those things that were painted already.
Yes, they're already painted.
Are painted as if we need to park straight in.
No, they're painted so you walk across the crosswalk and that's where you end up. That's what they're there for, not to direct parking on an angle or anything. That's what their purpose is.
I think all crosswalks have,
I'm not really talking about the crosswalk.
No, I know you're not.
Oh.
At the end of the crosswalk,
Yeah,
to avoid a car from parking at the end of the crosswalk,
okay.
this board
All right, I
told
got
you
you.
to have it done, and that was
And there's
2
this-
years ago or something, Bill,
Yeah,
I
and
think,
there's a sign there that says.
no parking or whatever. Now, if you don't want the lines painted in, then to have diagonal parking, you would have to put a sign there. If you don't want the sign, then you
No
put the
sign.
lines in on a diagonal, and of course,
Yeah,
that's,
no lines.
that's how they're gonna park.
I think, I may be wrong, or may be changed, but at one time, the only, unless marked diagonal parking, you should, it has to be parallel parking to the road,
Oh, that was
rather than
aware of.
pulling in.
So then all that area over there
Because
really should be,
Years ago, somebody yelled at me for parking. I pulled my truck up there so I can get out without backing up. And somebody came out and started quite a little argument with me about parking illegally. And I said, I believe I'm the one that's parked legally. And I looked it up in an old VMT book that I had,
got more than
dust on it, and I was right. But it may have changed now, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
so while we're talking about SAG store, just a quick issue, or do you want to go on?
The zoning board, yeah, I went to the zoning board on they had some other beachfront houses that want to get raised. I assume you know that the one next to the Sag Main Beach, when I was on the board, zoning board, we did not allow them to raise that to, I think it was like 52 feet in height.
Bill, can I just stop you for 1 second? Because you know this is the way my brain works.
Yeah,
Are we still on trustee priorities?
I think we diverged somewhat. We've run it off.
No, okay, so I'm just wondering, because it sounds like you're gonna report on the meeting from
Oh, I'll
ZBA,
wait on that.
which would be under the
Yeah,
board
okay.
reports.
All right,
Okay.
so let's wait till later.
Okay.
So if you're finished with the trustee priorities, and I'm not sure if you are, I'm just
Oh, I think so.
wondering whether you are. But the other thing I wanted to add with the crosswalks, right now with Sag Road being repaid, is there a crosswalk, was there a crosswalk
was.
there prior to them
Yes,
paving? So
There
there will
was.
be another one that will be
It was the
installed.
second driveway though.
They're gonna
of the
put it
school.
back where it's supposed to be, going from the south side of Sagaponic Road to the north side to get to the school.
right,
So,
right.
but my question to you is, once that's done, do you want me to get another sign and have it installed on that crosswalk? Like I have down
In the middle,
post office?
yes, try that, that slows people down.
Is that what the board wants me to do?
I don't know, there's gonna be a bump there. Very close to it. If you
Well,
go
let's
through.
wait then.
Let's see where the bump ends up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I won't order one for there right now. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay,
Got it.
Okay, historical markers.
yeah,
That's
I
fine.
think. Do
Yeah, so
one
if you,
at a
right.
time?
if you recall, last month, you approved the installation of the one down at the Marconi antenna. And I had promised you this list, but I didn't have it for that second meeting in September. But I did unearth it, and this is the list that Ann Sanford had created. Some of the signs exist, and then she suggested some other ones. So if you, I mean, it's really there for information. I told you I would give it to you, and I'm working on getting the one installed on Sac Main Street. So maybe if you want at a later time to look at this list and decide whether or not, or add to it.
Right.
But that's the list that I promised you.
Yeah, no, that's neat. It's nice to have reminders that this place wasn't created yesterday.
And another point is that she's got Sag Store down there. Perhaps we can get that included in the renovation.
Oh, get them to do it.
Just possible.
We could probably get them to do a bunch of things around town. To be honest.
Like lighting the Christmas tree.
There you go.
Well, that might not work.
Anyway,
but you never know.
I would, if you'd like me to suggest that, since they're in the beginning of this phase,
Through the store?
Yeah.
Oh,
we could suggest it.
if they put up a sign in that cluttered area, is that gonna be objectionable? Karen?
What cluttered area are you speaking
Well,
about?
by
The parking
store.
area by the store.
Yeah, there's not much room for them to put up a sign. Where they put it across the street, or you seem to be on a jag with signs right now, so,
I have to
Think about that
yeah. think
and let me
about it.
know.
I also think once we see it visually, when it's moved back, and again, I'm supposing that all the zoning and the architectural board and everybody and us as a planning board finally comes to a decision. I think once we visually see where it ends up being and what it will look like, we'll know where the sign goes.
I think the sun will go perfectly in the shrubbery area by the
On the north side.
on the
south
north side where the ramp is.
There you go.
And there-
Could be.
So we have to see it to identify the place.
Right,
Got it. Okay,
Hoxie Bog Windmill.
right.
Was it called Hoxie Bog? Windmill?
I don't know.
Gotta look it up.
That's from Ann, and that's.
That sign is there, right?
Yeah, that's what she's
Yeah.
saying, our current, yeah.
Yeah, and it's inaccurate supposedly. But whatever.
Where's the one by Spider Lake Mill?
That's the one on the Sag Main Street in Sagaponic Road.
No, that's not right.
I think so.
The
Yes,
mill
Spider
one
Lake.
is down by Pikes, I thought. Spider Lake Mill, that's where the Spider Lake Mill used to be.
No, well, I don't know.
And the one on Sag Main Street, on the one on the intersection of Sag Ponic Road and Main Street is the one where Captain Corcoran had so-and-so whipped.
Yeah.
Does that have to do, is that the Spider Lake Mill? No.
I thought there were two things on that sign, but I don't remember.
No, the Spider Lake Mill is down by Pike.
Yeah, could be, yes, by chance, yeah.
So that's.
I didn't make that up, that's Ann Sanford.
Well, I could be wrong and have things mixed up. I don't know, but that's how I feel I remember the
Yeah.
name.
That's probably right.
So we should get that straight before we go
Cool.
forward.
Gotcha.
Anybody who wants to figure out a new sign, bring it up next time, or before.
Or if you have some data that disputes the location of the current ones.
You can always ask Ann. Sanford.
Well,
She's the one that gave us the list.
Okay.
Let's move on, financial claims review. I think everybody's had vouchers to sign. We've been through that. I don't know if there's a,
You just have to resolve the warrants.
Jay.
And Jay.
yes,
you
okay,
should-
resolution. I guess I make a resolution to approve the bills for the following funds and in the following amounts as per the warrant dated October 19, 2022. We do this all at once,
No,
really?
I want 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Four
Four separate
resolutions.
times?
Yep.
sorry.
make a resolution to expend $59,555.91 from the general fund. Have I got a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Make a motion to expend $387.50 from the Planning Trust and Agency Fund. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to expend $10,911.18 from the Capital Highway Fund. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to expend $20,000 from the Trust and Agency Fund. I think that's return of bond money.
That is correct.
Yeah, so we're not really spending it, we're just giving it back because they performed what they said they were going to perform. I'll make that motion. Do I have a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Committee reports. So I'm going to do the zoning board.
You're gonna do zoning because I was on a plane trying to go home. I could not.
Having a good
You
time.
couldn't?
I could not but
Right.
get through. Architecture and historic hasn't happened, so he's gonna do zoning for me.
Yeah, they had 3 cases. The first 2 were for beachfront houses who wanted to get their level of the first floor up to 19, or the lowest member of the first floor to 17 feet or 19 feet, I forget.
17 with a 2-foot freeboard. So we're
Okay,
at
17 with a 2-foot freeboard. These were existing houses that want to get lifted. One of them, let's see, was not being changed, I think the first one, and the other one had a few modifications they wanted to do to it.
Both of them have minor.
Yeah,
Renovations,
minor,
one of
no
them.
major.
Are they 2-story?
Yeah, I think so.
No,
So both of them. I
both
think,
are two stories. I thought
Probably-
one was
probably
one.
stick-
So they have to take a story off if they want to get lifted.
Well, it's the zoning board put up the decision and they may feel that way, I don't know. Neither one of them got a decision.
Then we have a height restriction?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
why you go for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, one of them was gonna end up being like 52 and a
52
half
feet,
feet.
huh?
That would be such a,
It'd be like being on the
This-
Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
Just so that you know, this is zoning board. Zoning board is different from your board, and the zoning board has not made a decision yet.
yeah, so actually we shouldn't express an opinion because it might be interpreted in a lawsuit that we influence them.
I can take it
improperly.
back.
Yeah. And those 2 decisions were put off. The third one was SAG
They were
store.
not put off, Bill, just to explain, the records were left open
Right,
for
record,
both of those applications
right,
until to their November meeting. So there could be additional information.
yeah, there was some opposition from neighbors, so I think there's opportunity for them to weigh in a bit more, whatever evidence they want to collect. The third one was Sagaponic General Store, and that was approved. They, I think all the variances they wanted were reductions from the existing store. I think all of them, all 9. Yeah, because they moved it back, they jogged it around a little bit, they got the width of the driveway up to some kind of standard.
10
for-
feet standard,
What?
10-foot standard.
Oh, okay, for some, what, probably fire access if they, or whatever. I got to see the plans and it looked good. But that's gonna come to us.
Next month, I just got the planning application.
Tonight.
On the ninth?
Right,
Yep.
and I sent it all to you.
I got it.
You all got emails on there. So that is your November 9th.
It's always good reading, Tony.
Yeah.
I read it.
Oh, yeah, yep. And as you know, Tony Cohill is special counsel to this application through all the boards.
So, in relation to sex, or what I was gonna say before, just to give everyone the heads up, and I can't imagine it would be a horrible problem. SAG School uses SAG Store as their New York State emergency access location.
Oh,
So while it's jacked up and under construction, they are required by law, the superintendent Ferron and I had discussed this at the end of school. they're required by law to do one practice a year. And they're assuming once construction starts, there will not be any time during the school year that it would be safe to bring the children down to the store under location. So, I got brainstorming, and they could bring the children to Sag Village, which you guys wouldn't mind for a practice drill. And the only problem that his experience and my experience in school administration was they can line the kids up and have them leave the school, but a bus has to be parked somewhere where it won't turn around.
Oh,
They can't go backwards, buses. So hence, I suggested Robbie Thayer's driveway, which curves around, that the bus could be waiting there for the one practice drill. I spoke to Robbie and he goes, anything the school wants, that's easy. We're talking about one drill this year. Once that story is done, the problem should resume itself. And then you would know way in advance, because you speak to the superintendent from the school up and on anyway, what day he packs, and they'll come for all 5 kids for whatever it takes to get their mom and dad to pick them up.
Got it.
You just need candy and,
Yep.
and juice.
I haven't spoken to them, so it's not set up.
No, it's not gonna happen usually. They usually do them to spring. But initially, by then, they should be under full up in the air construction, I would assume. So it's a 1-year problem. And he was so thrilled, the superintendent, that we could just like talk to a neighbor like Robbie, and he'd be like, oh, no problem for the school. So I was impressed. There's still hope that we all talk to each other.
Does he have to take out extra liability for that day or something?
I don't think he would, because the bus just literally pulls in and the kids load up. The police,
What do you mean they load up?
they get in the bus to be brought here.
Oh, so how do they get from the school to Robbie's?
They walk
Oh.
with police escort when there's an emergency
Oh.
exit. So the road usually gets
They
stopped.
can't just get picked up at the school?
No, the assumption is the building's on fire or something has happened there.
Okay.
They have to be removed from the building before they can be transported. And the police are always there in an emergency exit drill to keep all cars away from them as they move to buses.
Gotcha.
In East Hampton High School, the emergency exit location is the buses move them to the airport strip, and 1,000 children are put there on the strip until they get picked up.
Hmm.
But they have to
And
have
all
a,
planes are halted, I hope.
oh God, we're hoping, but it happens only once a year.
so you're just asking, will the village?
Yeah, why would we not let them
Yeah,
come
oh,
in?
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I would think it shouldn't be a horrible problem.
Do we need a resolution for that?
No, we'll wait till he asks.
Just so that you know that school uses this
Right.
building quite frequently, because
Yeah.
they have meetings and they don't, with parents
Right.
or, and they don't have the space in it for this one room schoolhouse, so they use my meeting room on a regular basis.
They really like it, guys. I mean, he
What
was
do you mean
talking
they
how
don't have
wonderful
space?
it is.
Excuse me, they don't have space to have a meeting while school is in session.
Oh, all schools, session.
With
Yes, while
parents.
they're in
I
session,
didn't realize.
during the day, yeah.
Okay.
That's
No
nice of
problem
you.
here. Well, thank you.
Okay, so we've done Carrie.
Well, you said there was a third thing, Bill. on the
Where?
ZBA, On the ZBA thing.
There's the 2 houses.
Yeah, the two.
Two houses
each
to be jacked up.
husband looked at the two
Oh,
houses,
two houses, with 2 things.
And
Okay.
that's similar.
And
Request.
the
That's
hearing
fine.
in Sag Store was closed and their plan was approved for the variances.
Yeah, I thought the 2 houses was one.
No, 2 different people.
It's the third time we've had a request. If you add the 2 plus the original one, we had I don't know, last spring maybe?
Hmm.
3 houses along the ocean have
Yeah.
asked to
And there's more to go.
And what happened with the one last spring?
Turned down.
Good.
And
Lawsuit
it's a
filed.
lengthy lawsuit.
SAG stores a go then? As
They
far
have to come
as
to us
far
as a
as-
planning board, then they're gonna go to the HRB.
Okay, good.
And hopefully it's all smooth sailing. It looks good.
You'll see it
Looks
next,
good.
this board will see it next.
Yeah, nothing,
And then the
nothing
last board.
strange. I mean, it's,
maybe each.
post office is happy and Yeah,
And Bill,
Yeah.
just to add to that, the reason why was called out of this meeting is because Tony Tohill had, we were trying to find a location for the post office within the village. So he just, I don't know why he had to call me out of this meeting, telling you, but he's sending a memo tomorrow for the board for locations that a trailer can be placed
I'm
at.
still working on the trailer. is
Yeah,
it?
David Curry, well, the trailer itself, David Curry had sent me an email showing he's gonna get a Casone trailer, because to try and,
Wait,
the
for
post
postal
office
one.
had suggested trucks, he went and looked at them, and they're really just a truck with a window that you sell stamps out of. So he said, that's not acceptable, they can't function that way.
wow,
And then the two trailers that were available are not available anymore because they were down in Florida after the hurricane hit down there. So they're gonna rent a Casone trailer for the post office. Now we just need to get the location.
Karina Butler's place would be good for
Oh
that.
my God, he mentioned that today. I'm like,
good
Yeah.
negotiation.
I'll talk to her.
I didn't think north of the highway, Kentish Wings potato bars. They got plenty of,
Montauk Highway is the worst place we want it because.
no,
it's the
north of the
low-
highway, right next to me.
Huh?
Yeah, I
From there.
never even thought of it.
Then you get a lot of traffic down there.
Kenny would love the rent.
That's another option, Bill.
Yeah,
Anyway, Tony's going to send a memo tomorrow with the options. I'll share it with all of
yeah,
you.
okay.
And, but that's another one that wasn't mentioned, at least I don't think it's in the memo, but I'll tell you. Anyway,
The
there you go.
ex-mayor could rent his place. Did he get it sold
He
yet?
doesn't own it.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
His kids could rent it to us. And for the year,
Be lovely.
yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Spot. Okay.
Let's see. Bill, anything about the highway department?
No, it looks like everything's progressing quite nicely. I did have one question, and maybe I missed the answer from missing the meeting last week. When what is it, the water authority's going up hedges, when they take all the cobblestone out, today I noticed they're putting it back, and it's all, who's paying for the water authority pays for that?
Yes.
That's not costing us anything,
No,
and it's not costing the people that
no.
had to put it down there at the
Well,
town's
if
expense.
the main is being paid for by the people that want the water.
Right,
So as each house that it goes past are technically paying for it. Jim Peterman keeps on top of the water authority because, you know, they just rip everything up.
They do
and
what
then
they
it
want.
takes forever to do
right.
it.
Well, there was a crew today working
Well,
on
because
hedges, replacing the cobblestone.
what they told him originally, it'll be done in a month. And he said, no, it will not be done in a month. We need it done now. And so
Oh,
there you
okay,
go.
okay.
So I'll have to tell you, they do listen to him.
Yeah, it's
That's good.
really, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I met with the Rosemore guy in charge of this road with Jim, and he was laying it out with the guy. And boy, smooth, you know, they just, you know, he knows everything, the guy follows along and does whatever.
Do you need this back there?
He also works with Rosemeyer a lot, which helps.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
That type of connection.
right.
well, let's hope those speed bumps go. No, that's all I have.
And then
Marilyn,
the
anything
road
else to
plan,
add?
Bill, as far as highway department, the road plan, we're still working on it, and I did, LKMA did a beautiful, you know, Bill reported that he went out in the roads with Jim Peterman to look at the roads. They provided us with a lovely map that has these colored roads. But it doesn't tell you what, it shows you the condition, whether it's excellent, good, poor. Mine was A, B, C, and D. And so we have that map, but it doesn't give any details on what's on the road. So I've asked them to give us something in a little more detail besides just the road, the length, and the condition. So I did, Bill, take that spreadsheet that I had
Mhm.
and I updated it with that map. So, although we're.
Did they do all the roads,
Yeah.
not even the ones that have been paved?
Yes,
Because
yes.
we have sections
Yes.
with that we
Yep.
stopped paving in the middle
Yep.
and didn't do a
100%.
part and then picked up at a different corner.
100%.
I'd like to get a copy of that.
So I have it electronically and I can share it with you. And after speaking with Bill, we're not satisfied with the product. We don't
Okay.
feel the product is complete enough to give us the information on what needs, like you were saying, Bill, last month that Jim said, well, this road looks good, except for it's starting to crack, so now we have to fill those cracks. That bit of information isn't in their
Okay,
reports.
yeah.
So we need to get that in order to
Right.
know, are we just gonna fill the cracks? Because we did that on Sag Road a couple of years ago. Instead of repaving it, we just filled it to make it last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll have those details, but I will share with you what he said.
Okay, you did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most notably Waynscott Harbor Road, which is concrete,
Mm.
and the asphalt and concrete expand and contract at different rates. And so all of a sudden, just now, the cracks are showing up where some of the, and, you know, my question would be, should we go and get somebody to tar those cracks so
Yeah.
the water doesn't go down?
Well, what was done in previous,
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
on
was it?
Wayne Harbor Road?
That used to be concrete and we overlaid it with blacktop.
When did you do that?
A couple years
4
back.
years ago. It was
Oh,
before
was
COVID.
that-
Probably was before,
I
yeah.
like the concrete.
Yeah. Troy was here.
Have you been down there since then?
I'm sure I have, I guess I just didn't notice.
And we widened it too. We widened it and put the overlay on.
Good.
Well, anything else
I
to add? Is that, was it the land trust on the, or somebody on the 27th?
The 27th, right,
Yeah, if anybody wants to,
the meeting
yeah,
for the pond.
I sent an email, I didn't get a response though, asking when they
Ah.
are going
Any
to.
word from the trustees when they're gonna open it?
I just sent an email to them just before the meeting, but they haven't responded, so I don't know the answer on that.
Send us a blast out when it does, because the fishermen.
there you go.
Gotcha. They can all
So
line up
October
there.
27th, what about the pond?
There's a Zoom meeting, or there's a meeting that, the
Land Trust.
holds, and they give you an update on the work they're doing, on the pond, just to
I
help.
thought I sent that to everybody, but maybe I didn't, maybe I just
Okay,
sent it.
look for
to you.
email.
No, I think you did send it.
Okay, I
And the
can send it.
24th is architecture, Monday at 12 noon, which I always get perplexed by. This meeting's at 12 noon, but,
Because of the attorneys.
Those attorneys get their way every time.
12 noon, it's just like, doesn't anyone eat?
So I think we're done.
Yep, you just have to approve next meeting or the night.
Okay, well, I make a motion to hold the next, plan.
Yeah,
Okay,
just make a motion to adjourn.
okay, well, that's what I was gonna do until,
I thought you had to say when it
Second.
was.
You announced it, you don't.
Oh, you announced
Aye.
it. Aye,
Okay.
you just have to announce it, not motion it.
and then so, okay.
There'll be a meeting next
Who
month.
seconded it? I'm
I
sorry.
did.
Okay, for the adjournment.
Me. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okey dokey.